Sleeping outside on a deflated pad is like pizza without mushrooms. It's good, but it could be a whole lot better. So I'm happy to report that my wool shirt did the trick. My hips stayed warm. I just needed a few more for the rest of my body. And then some cushion would have been nice too. Frost, or frozen condensation anyway. Well, I guess this 17-year-old 35-degree bag is up to a pretty good challenge, because I definitely slept warm, except for the part of me on the bottom. Looks like my water bottle didn't freeze though. That's good. It's a beautiful morning, and my campsite for last night was on top of that ridge on the right. What a magnificent, glistening meadow. Can you see the color in this forest? The color of all those beautiful leaves coming out. Pink, green, red, orange. And can you seriously say that fall is a season for leaf color? Spring is amazing. May 12th. I was starting to worry about water since the stream that I passed a while ago didn't seem to be a stream at all. And then when I was on the trail way up there, I sighted water. And it's as pretty a little spring as you could ask for, coming right out of the ground right there. Back on trail, I filtered 4 liters of water. I drank well over 2 of them right there. And it's turning out to be a beautiful day. This is the first day that it's been pleasant to just sit somewhere. So I enjoyed myself down there. It must be 60 degrees. Now I'm walking in shorts. So it's a beautiful day and a really nice view out behind me. I've now arrived to the Manistee River Loop Trail, which uses part of the North Country Trail for about 8 miles, 10 miles maybe. So this stretch I've hiked once before, and it was magnificent. I think it'll be even better with fewer leaves out. Awesome view, and way better in May than it was in June. Well, I am sweating a little bit. A pretty good spot for lunch. Still walking along the lip of this river valley, the Manistee River Valley. Wonderful views. Another spring. And down there, quite a rushing little creek, which I think must also be spring fed. Here are the springs feeding that larger creek. Lots of yellow flowers in them. Are those marsh marigolds? What a stand of trillium. Got to a reservoir along the Manistee River. Those high, well, you wouldn't call them bluffs. What would you call them? Mounds are where the Manistee River Loop trail was. Looks like I finally passed the end of the reservoir. I didn't notice when it happened, but here we got the river again. Right along the road here, which is handily closed. Notice that sign says that Interlaken is to the right. My grandmother went to Interlaken for a music camp a long time ago. Nice to know I'm nearby. I just ate dinner with this view, called home. Everyone seems to be doing all right without me. Lovely river. That's the Manistee River again. Well, I'm camped at 772, milepost 772.5, so that's pretty much exactly 28 miles for the day. A wonderful campsite. I guess I'm still not quite done camping because, as you can see, I need to hang my food bag still. It's right above the Manistee River. Some blooming bushes nearby. Lovely spot. Another heavy frost last night. Well, not too heavy, but another frost last night. I thought perhaps there wouldn't be after it'd been so warm yesterday, but it definitely got down pretty cold last night. Well, it's starting to warm up a little bit. So I stopped for breakfast, having some cold soaked oatmeal right here, some cold soaked oatmeal. Last night I actually slept pretty well. The best I've slept this whole trip, except for the first 4 hours of the first night before the pad burst. What I did, I slept with my shirt under my hips, as I showed you before, and my sweater folded up under my shoulders and torso. And that gave me enough insulation from the ground and enough padding from the ground that I was able to sleep pretty well. The only downside was the only thing I had left to wear was a t-shirt. So whenever I, moved and some cold air drafted into the sleeping bag, I definitely felt a little chilly. I don't know if it's going to get any better than this. Another great campsite. This one's just north of mile marker 767. And it's right next to the Manistee River. The lovely views continue. It's finally warming up. I shouldn't say finally. I mean, it's not even 9:30 yet. And got my hat off, my gloves off, my jacket off. It's feeling good. And it's a beautiful day. Another totally cloudless day. The Manistee River. The Manistee River and views into the distance. And right below me here is a spring rushing out of the ground. This may be the most beautiful valley edge that I've had so far. This mossy, grassy edge with a view out over forever. So there's Michigan, and there is the Manistee River Valley. Quite a contrast. Setting out the tent to let it dry out. And we still got some ice on here and packed down in the middle of the backpack. It didn't thaw. Oh, look at all that white. Yeah, well, you know what? It's so warm right now that I'm going to eat lunch in the shade. I haven't looked for shade in quite a while. I guess summer is on its way. Can you hear that? It's the sound of frozen condensation dripping off the ceiling. Well, lunchtime. Found myself a partly shady spot, and on the menu this lunch is more ramen with mushrooms and green onions. Got my tent drying out right over here as well. The ground cloth a little further away. Sitting right along this arid edge of the Manistee River Valley. Wow. There's a sandbank that is constantly under erosion. Manistee River makes a loop right at its base. I hope you're not getting tired of awesome overlooks. The longed for and much needed water stop. A beautiful stream with hemlocks. So a little bit of a road walk here, and there's an interesting building. Built as a shed, it looks like, or a small barn. I wonder, is the foundation original? It looks a little younger than the rest of the structure. Well, about another mile of road and then back to trail. I ate dinner here and called home. Magnificent place to make a phone call. Well, only 6 miles to go for the whole trip, so I'll get 2 or 3 of them in tonight and then tomorrow finish up. Camp all set up. The tent. The river. The bear hang. And a lovely evening. Notice, I've got pine straw underneath me tonight. Maybe that'll be soft and warm. I'll let you know. Last night went pretty well. Pine straw apparently is what you want when your pad is deflated. Now I've got about 5 miles out to the trailhead where I'll be met in about 2 hours.
it's been a good hike.
Another really nice campsite just south of milepost 745.5 and just south of the Fife Lake Loop Trail. And this one comes with a really nice view of the river and a railroad bridge. And a lovely stream tributary to the Muskegon, to the Manistee River too. Private trail to access the water. I arrived at Roadside Park on US 131 in northern Michigan. That's the end of my trip, so I'm just waiting for my ride, waiting for Rebecca. She should be along in about half an hour, and eating breakfast. I got home, I got a good night's sleep, and I was able to repair the pad using the patch kit that came with it. So don't leave home without it, I guess.